when you were putting up astronomical numbers, 200-plus point seasons, there was only about a dozen players that reached the 100-point mark. Was it a feeling of power?
No. I never felt ever a sense of that. I had really so much respect for my teammates and so much respect for the game, the people I played against, the teams I played against. And I had this fear of getting cut. I had this fear of having to go to the minors. So I approached every game and every practice like it was my last, and that I was desperately trying to show that I belonged on that team. And it was probably something my dad taught me at a young age, and I never really got rid of that feeling. So I never took advantage of what I was or who I was. I looked at it differently. I looked at it like, gosh, I got to be good tonight. I got to be better than I was last game. And that's the way I approached every night.
During your prime, if you look around the league, there was Messier and Yzerman and McGinnis and Theo Fleury and Langway, et cetera, et cetera. Was that the golden age of the NHL?
Oh, I don't know. Because, you know, in the 80s when myself and Messier and guys like that came in, Trottier, Mike Bossy, Brett Hull, the feeling was, at the beginning was, okay, Lafleur's kind of near the end, Bobby Orr's retired, Gordie Howe's gone, Bobby Hull's gone. How's the league going to survive? Where are we going next? And then along came guys like Messier and Mike Bossy, Mario, Steve Yzerman, and Brett Hull, on and on. Some great players that really took our game to another level. They really did. And everybody had a hand in that. And then as we got older, and guys like Mario and myself and Mark, Paul Coffey, guys like that started to retire, people were like, okay, what's going to happen to our game? And the greatest thing about our game is the people, the athletes who come along, you go, wow, this guy's good. So along came Ovechkin, and along came Malcolm, and of course along came Crosby. And now we're going, okay, what's going to happen next? And along comes Austin Matthews and Connor McDavid and Pedersen now in Vancouver. And we just go, wow, these kids keep getting better and better. So we're very proud of our era. A lot of great players, like you said, guys like Rod Langway, Dennis Potvin, Trottier, and on and on. But the game itself is better today than it was in the 80s. The characters might be a little different, the personalities, and the game itself is a little different, but the game's in a really good position right now.
I mentioned before that when you were scoring 200 points, there was a dozen players with 100 points. I look at the stats. Last year there were 6 players with 100 points, 3 the year before, 1 apiece in 2016 and 17, and in 2015 there was 0 that reached 100 points. Do you think the NHL would benefit with a dozen guys scoring 100 points?
Well, listen, we live in North America, and I love all sports, and I love the game of soccer. But one of the reasons soccer sort of seems to be a little bit of a stalemate in North America, people want to see goals. They don't want to go to a 0-0, 1-0 game. They want to see 6-5. They want to see 5-4. That excites them. Football games, they want to see 30-28. So we live in a country, North America, not just Canada, but Canada and the US, where people love offense. And I think that everyone realizes that. And I think the players realize it, and coaches do, the league does, the commissioner does. So we try, everybody's always trying, okay, how can we make this more offensive? All right, we're going to go 3-on-3 in overtime. We're going to call hooking and holding. We're going to call interference. And that's all great, and that's all positive, and that's what makes the game fun to watch. But we forgot to realize how good some of these defensemen are and how great some of the goaltenders are. Back in the 60s, the goaltenders really weren't the best athletes on the team. Grant Fuhr came along, and Marty Brodeur and Patrick Roy. Those guys were athletes. They were some of the best athletes on their teams. They all handle the puck, they all skate, they all shoot it. So it's tougher to score now. I'm the first guy to sit here and tell you, I played in the right era. It's harder to score points now than it was when I played. But everybody seems to put their hat on and try to make it more of an offensive game.
After Edmonton, you were traded to LA, and of course you were told of the trade by Bruce McNall while you were babysitting Robin Thicke. Did you have any conversations with the 11-year-old Robin Thicke when you found out? Do you remember exactly what happened in that house?
Oh, you know what, Robin, growing up in California, his dad was a huge hockey fan, of course, because he was Canadian and went to a lot of games, and we were good friends. But Robin himself was more into music as he is today. He was more into playing basketball with his buddies. I really wasn't a big fixture as far as Robin Thicke's life goes.
So you were just a regular babysitter?
Yeah, because we've been friends since he was 2 or 3 years old. So I don't think it really changed what he was doing that particular day when I got traded.
When you were traded to LA, you said it was a colossal day, not only for yourself, but for the NHL, and you want to accomplish so much. Looking back at that, did you accomplish everything that you thought you would by getting traded to LA?
Well, listen, when I got traded to LA, the only thing I wanted to accomplish was to win a Stanley Cup. So if you look at it that way, you go, well, I didn't do that. But what we did do is we put together a group of guys that got to a Stanley Cup final. We lost to a better team. It was an incredible run to get to the Stanley Cup final. I was so proud to be part of that team. And with that came all the success around it that we weren't sort of anticipating. The Mighty Ducks coming, the Sharks coming, Arizona, Dallas, etc. So that was sort of the benefits of the success of LA, but our goal was one goal, and that was to win a championship.
You ever think about what would have been if you would have stayed in Edmonton 2 years after you left? They won a cup in 1990 and could have had a three-peat there.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you know, it's you can't sort of go back and predict what could have been or would have been. All I know is that I was on a great hockey club in Edmonton, and the memories that I have and the players I played with and the championships we won, and we're still friends today, all those guys I played with. We were kids growing up, loving playing hockey. We didn't think of, okay, one day you're going to be in the Hall of Fame, you're going to get in the Hall of Fame. We were just playing hockey and practicing and trying to be the best we could be. And we were fortunately led by the right guy, and Glenn let us play a system and a style that we were comfortable with that happened to be very offensive. We figured out how to combine that offense with defense and became very successful and became champions, and the rest is history.
You've scored 936 more points than the number 2 player on the all-time list, Jaromir Jagr. You've been a tremendous ambassador for the game, yet you always credit Gordie Howe with being the greatest player of all time. Is that just you being modest?
No, it's a fact. Listen, the greatest thing about sports is we sit around, right, and talk about who's the best football player, who's the best hockey player, who's the best team. Well, I like this team. What's your favorite team? That's what always makes sports so wonderful, right? Because we can all debate it, and friendly debate it. But I say this sincerely. I met Gordie Howe when I was 10, and sometimes when you meet your idol, you go, oh, I was okay. My dad said to me, how was meeting Gordie Howe today? And I said, Dad, he was bigger and better and nicer than I could ever have imagined. And I went on to not only be friends with him, but really good friends. And to me, and I say this sincerely, Gordie Howe was the greatest player ever lived, and he made my life better by the fact that he was Gordie Howe.
Hey sports fans, you want to see more videos like this? Check out some of our other videos right here, and if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. And stick with Sports Pulse, your heartbeat to what's trending in sports.